So we'd now like to consider how you go about researching your object. And the first thing to think of is how to pick your objects.
One of the most important things to remember here is it's important for you to start small. You can apply the methodology that we've just demonstrated in our case studies to any object in your collection, but don't let that make you feel overwhelmed. Even if you just decide to research one object, you'll still uncover new stories to share with your audiences. If you're not quite sure where to start, why not think about some of the following prompts? How about thinking about using your favourite object or an object that simply intrigues you? You could also try choosing an object with an important local connection, or maybe something that attracts particular public interest. You also might think about picking an object that engages with a central theme of a particular gallery, or an object from a period in time where you feel women or LGBTQ+ people are underrepresented in your museum.
The next thing to think about is how to do the research. Now, in the toolkit, we've put together a list of questions that you could ask about your object that cover materials, production, use, design, and interpretation. Really important to say, this is not a checklist, okay? It's a list of options. You can choose whichever questions seem most interesting and or most feasible to you. And likewise, it's important not to feel like you have to kind of construct a complete biography of your object. And it's worth saying that when we used this method, we found it was never possible to answer every single question on that list for any given object. Ultimately, what it is a method that helps to uncover more information about an object than you had before, which means that anything you uncover basically is a bonus.
And the key thing to remember is that in considering each of these different aspects of an object, it's important to think about what difference gender makes. So for example, if you're looking at materials, even asking the seemingly innocuous question of what an object is made of can prompt interesting lines of inquiry. So for example, if an instrument is wooden, did the fact that men had to go out into the forests to source wood mean women spent more time alone with each other or with their children? If an instrument is inlaid with tortoiseshell, did colonization of the areas where tortoiseshell came from involve the imposition of European gender norms?
And if you're interested in how to find resources to research this, there's a whole section devoted to this in the toolkit to get you started, as well as a recommended reading list at the end of the toolkit.